It is that time again. Thank you for joining us on Nationwide. I'm Ruth Aguela. The leadership of the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers and the Petroleum Tanker Drivers branch of NUPENG says there is no plan whatsoever by the petroleum tanker drivers to embark on any protest. A statement by Comrade Afolabi Olawale, NUPENG General Secretary, reiterates that there is no division in the union. The statement decried what it calls some desperate individuals and their sponsors project. The news item, according to the statement, is false and unfounded. In view of this, the attention of the leadership of both the Nigerian Union of Petroleum and Natural Gas Workers and the Petroleum Tanker Drivers branch of the union was drawn to the misleading and unfounded online news of the purported protest of the petroleum tanker drivers across the country, which is intended to create panic in the public and cause artificial scarcity by the desperate individuals. All the petroleum tanker drivers are fully committed to the national services of effective and efficient distribution of petroleum products across the country. The unions call on the security agencies to urgently fish out the writer of this misleading and panic-creating news items and make him or her face the full wrath of the law. Nigeria's First Lady Oluremi Tinubu has re-echoed her call on Nigerians to trust in President Bola Tinubu's vision for economic recovery of the country. Well, she made the call while addressing the Nigerian community at a dinner in Sierra Leone. State House correspondent Adeni Taiwo will tell us about it.
The dinner was organized by the Nigeria in Diaspora organization NIDO in Sierra Leone to show their love and interact with the First Lady Oluremi Tinubu before her departure after participating in the first-year commemoration of UN World Day for the Prevention of and Healing from Sexual Exploitation of Girls. It was also an opportunity for the First Lady to thank them for being good ambassadors of Nigeria whose conduct and legitimate businesses have supported their country of residence. Back home, she says, their president is working hard to put Nigeria on the path of sound economic recovery with bold reforms. This calls for understanding and compassion among Nigerians.
Nigeria is like a fresh baby now, and we all have to build together. So, and that's what it is. But the story is we can also help our neighbors. Like now, I know you need this. Not that I have any money, but my heart is in it. Did you get what I'm saying? And that is how we help each other.
And when she was done, the ovation was very loud. Hailing the First Lady's outing at the first-year commemoration, Nigerian High Commissioner to Sierra Leone, Henry Omaku, says her visit has further strengthened the bond between Nigeria and Sierra Leone.
You've given joy and hope to the younger generation of Sierra Leone. You've given hope to African women and African girls.
President of NIDO in Sierra Leone, Abiodun Oyebola, notes that Nigerians living in the country are abreast of development at home and pledged their support to the renewed hope agenda of the federal government.
We have decided in Sierra Leone not to look down in despair. We will look up to God Almighty and to our President, His Excellency, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, for hope, for peace, and for progress.
Earlier, the First Lady had joined her host, the First Lady of Sierra Leone, Fatima Bio, to inspect project work at 34 Military Hospital, Freetown, still under construction. The First Lady has since departed for Nigeria. From Freetown in Sierra Leone, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
Concretizing actions to harness the laudable takeaways from the Saudi Africa Summit, guest on NTA's Good Morning Nigeria noted requires domestication of the agreements for proactive implementation. Well, the guest reiterates that though Nigeria is now accepted as a destination of choice for investment in Africa, upholding agreements is sacrosanct. Lydia Sampson reports.
The various engagements at the summit, the guests are emphatic, if concisely pursued, can be a win-win economic transformation for Nigeria. They say if Nigeria rightly deepen discussion and partnership across the entire economic value chains, the country stands to benefit from the enormous potentials inherent in Saudi Arabia's endowment and strong economy.
Over 50 different treaties and agreements were signed. In the areas of investments, the first provision is that the areas of global peace, the establishment of a lot of investments, over $200 billion investments in African continent. And one of the remarkable things is that Nigeria's refineries will be revamped.
To build on this relationship that we have established with the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, with other stakeholders, be the business, from the business perspective, on how we can reinforce our collaboration and bring benefits to our people.
Nigeria, they reiterate, must quickly take advantage of Saudi Arabia's confidence in the leadership of President Bola Tinubu and the opening of Saudi to Africa to benefit from the $500 billion designated for Africa for investment in critical sectors of the country for sustainable growth.
It was a very remarkable achievement that Nigeria is now accepted as a destination of choice, and more importantly, the reforms that our country are undertaking are impressing investors around the world.
And once a decision is taken at the higher level, there can be no derogation from that. Implementation will be timely, precise, and meticulous. And where failure emanates, disciplinary action will be taken against people, even if at the level of ministers. So we should be very focused in those elements in order to bring back respectability and credibility into the public service.
They urge Nigerian civil servants to up their game to mitigate implementation lapses, as the Saudi civil service is precise and meticulous in the implementation of agreements and strategies. In Abuja, Lydia Sams, NTA News.
After 4 years of intense work, the ECOWAS Manual of Standard Operating Procedures for the sub-regional maritime centers is now ready for adoption. The document seeks to put all maritime security protocols in the sub-region on the one administrative process. Kelvin Ehunuahe reports.
West African Integrated Maritime Strategy was initiated in 2015. With the support from the European Union, the SWAMPS project was developed, and since 2019, series of engagements have taken place in Abuja and Abidjan, leading to the development of a standard operating procedures manual. The manual, being validated at this meeting, harmonizes all maritime regulations in the sub-region and coordinated by the ECOWAS Political Affairs, Peace and Security Department.
We also included, or we asked the consultants to divide the manual into two sections. One is for standard operation procedures for operational matters, and the other for administrative matters. So there are two sets of SOPs.
In the path that has been determined by our principals, by our head of states, it's time to formalize in a very professional way the way we are operating in terms of administration and also in terms of operation, as far as we are talking about activities of our center in order to make our region, our maritime domain, more safe.
With the adoption of the document, maritime security administration in the sub-region is expected to be seamless and more effective. In Abuja, Kelvin Ewonuaye, NTA News.
Between January and September 2023, the Federal Road Safety Corps achieved 22% reduction in road traffic crashes, 21.3% reduction in injuries, and 23.1% rather reduction in the number of people killed. Court Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps Dauda Biu said this at the commemoration of the 2023 World Day of Remembrance of Road traffic crash victims, while emphasizing that the federal government's huge investment in road infrastructure and, of course, huge visibility on the highways played a major role in all of this. Oyeyemi Ajayi reports.
Road traffic crash deaths have continued to be a source of concern to many, though experts say the fight against it remains unrelenting. Globally, 1.35 million deaths are recorded annually, with developing countries recording 90% of the deaths, and Nigeria isn't in any way different. For the FRC commercial, the most vulnerable are pedestrians, cyclists and motorcyclists, who contribute a large number of these incidents.
The Federal Road Safety Corps has geared up towards ensuring that the road traffic crashes, death and injuries are drastically reduced on Nigerian roads, and all variables that contribute to these crashes are outrightly eliminated.
The issue of speed continues to be a problem, particularly when it coincides with areas where people have to share roads with vehicles.
Commemorating the 2023 World Day of Remembrance of Road Traffic Crash Victims, experts charged everyone to contribute their own quota to ensure road safety and imbibe safety ethics on roads, noting that 20 million people have directly or indirectly been affected by road traffic crashes.
Accidents occur both in the day and night time as a result of potholes, drivers trying to skirt or to maneuver.
Every life that is lost in road crash are actually breadwinner. They are men and women that can contribute to the community and the development of the country. So losing such people is losing our asset.
The theme for this year's commemoration is justice, and the slogan, remember, support, act, both of which speak volume about the readiness and resolve on the part of stakeholders to reawaken the consciousness towards joining forces with the Corps to bring this menace to a complete halt in Nigeria. Oyeyemi Ajayi, NTA News.
When you educate a girl child, you have educated an entire nation. This saying has been practically demonstrated by the National Information Technology Development Agency, NTA, as it trains young females on digital marketing skills. Chimdima in the BC reports.
It's a known fact that business these days has gone beyond reaching only the immediate environment of the entrepreneur. For with a smartphone or a computer, one can transact business globally. But to launch and successfully scale businesses in the technological space require certain skills. And these are the skills that the National Information Technology Development Agency, NTA, will be imparting to these young women in the next 1 month.
They're going to go home with not just skills, they're going to go home with networks and connections. They're going to go home with analytical skills. They're going to go home with digital skills, financial skills, communication skills, all the various skills that are required in businesses and startups.
In a message, the Director General, Kashifu Inuwa Abdullahi, said, the female founders incubation training is a deliberate move to bridge the gender disparity that exists in the digital technology space.
This program aligns seamlessly with two priority areas of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's renewed hope agenda. Firstly, the investment in the digital economy to empower Nigerians with new skills and sustain jobs. And then secondly, the drive for women empowerment to champion equity and parity across every facet of our lives.
It's very important.
Aisha Abubakar, who has been running a tech solution company for 3 years now, and the 11 other participants are expected to contribute to the country's digital economy by deploying these skills to improve the digital marketing ecosystem. In Abuja, Chimdima Ndubisi, NTA News.
Right, let's cross to Lagos to join Adeola. She'll pick up with more reports from there.
Thank you, Ruth. The digital revolution has brought about the need their houses to reassess their structure and other key areas to reconfigure it in line with digital demands. This digital media experts say is a precautionary measure as well as reactionary venture, which is one of the gets equipment. Larry Belay submitted back this report.
There have been dramatic changes in technologies used in the media because of the revolutionary wave of digital age restructuring the modus operandi of information and content dissemination. Digital equipment is now a must-have in media houses since the availability of social media, digital gadgets, and over-the-top platforms using apps to stream programs.
Any sector that doesn't embrace technology now will become a late organization. As far as Nigeria is concerned on the area of technology, well, I will say we are ready, but there should be political will.
World Event is not only watched on traditional TV, but on various apps. With this in place, traditional media houses have no option but to purchase facilities that will aid this new era of broadcasting. Manufacturers and vendors of this equipment are busy introducing media houses to these cutting-edge facilities being churned out.
A recent example is due to the transport of audio and video signals over IP, for example, which is a new trend which makes life and wiring inside of radio and TV station much more IT-oriented. And let's say it's mandatory nowadays to have a system able to talk, to be interconnected to traditional SDI, for example.
So we believe more and more people are going to be interested in doing jobs like this, involving technology, communication, recording, etc.
In Nigeria, with a large population of young adults passionate about their touchscreen mobiles, media houses have no option than to go digital to remain relevant in the scheme of things. In Lagos, Larry Belay, NTA News.
And for democratic principles to be further strengthened in Nigeria, there is a need for a vibrant and free press to effectively monitor government in line with its role as watchdogs of a society. Protection of journalists in this regard, stakeholders say it's germane for them to carry out their duties without fear or favor. Joa Bobola completes the report.
Nigeria's press, according to experts, has come a long way, contributing immensely to the actualization of democracy in Nigeria. They say the landscape of press freedom has been a journey characterized by resilience, challenges, and triumphs. Experts agree that press freedom is germane to reshape public discourse and hold governments accountable. Several impediments to press freedom, such as legal restrictions, censorship, and other challenges, have made it somewhat difficult to fulfill their duties.
We're not there yet, but we have made over the years, if you look at it over the years, we have made some progress. But like we always say, there's always room for improvement. So yes, we're not there yet, but we need to continue to make efforts.
If we're free, it means we're at liberty to report what we want to report, how we want to report them, without being afraid of our jobs being snatched, without being afraid of being harassed or threatened.
Even amidst these impediments, journalists in Nigeria have continued to demonstrate courage and tenacity, continuing to strive for an open and transparent society where free flow of information is safeguarded.
As journalists, as the government, as CSOs, as different organizations that protect the rights of journalists, we still have a lot to do to make so that we can scale up the ladder a little bit and be counted as a media-free country.
For Nigeria to move up on the ranking of World Press Freedom Index, there is need for an improved enabling environment for the men of the pen profession. In Lagos, Joel Bukbola, NTA News.
And those are the reports from Lagos. Nationwide will continue with Bill Kisu in Jos after this break. To stay.
To Jos. General Officer Commanding 3 Division and General Officer Commanding Heavy Major General Officer says he will sustain periodic meetings with stakeholders in crisis communities until lasting peace is restored to such areas. Ahmed has details.
The General Officer commanding 3 divisions summoned the meeting of stakeholders to discuss issues that will restore lasting peace in Bokos and other parts of the state. He says timely collaboration and information are key as they aid the operatives to handle security challenges effectively. Major General Abubakar urged the participants to suggest to the operatives how best security issues can be tackled in their localities, adding that perpetrators will not be spared.
In the last 3 months, we have sacrificed a lot. We have done a lot. People have started commending us to the government, Operation Safe Haven, that we are seeing a change. We are seeing the wind of peace blowing. Please sustain it. The era of committing crimes and going away with it has passed. Because when you commit an offense, we will pursue you until we bring you to justice.
Community, religious and youth leaders appreciated the commander for the stakeholders meeting, promising to work closely to achieve lasting peace, not just in Bokos but in the state at large. They also agreed to give useful information to the operatives on criminal activity in the area for action. In Jos, Salam Rahman Mohammed, NTA News.
The 10th Foundation Lecture Series, first Chief Medical Director, Jos University Teaching Hospital, led Professor Alfred Chukwe Ikeme, focuses on understanding diabetes and how to manage its complications. Rex Silvanus Lott reports.
This lecture series began in 2014 in honor of the astute Professor of Medicine and Physiology, late Dr. Ikeme. The lecture traces the beginning of the treatment of diabetes with the use of insulin, which is today no longer adequate. Guest lecturer Professor Gideon Igese, while tracing the relationship between diabetes and cardiology, says the heart and blood vessels, when not managed well, will affect diabetic patients.
Diabetes is a lifestyle illness that requires lifestyle modification. We also involve dietitians because using diet is also a mode of management of diabetes. It's not only drugs.
The importance of the lecture for the University Teaching Hospital management cannot be overemphasized, calling for its sustenance.
It's a series that brings about, academics, to discuss, to refresh our knowledge on certain areas of medicine.
The late Professor Alfred Ikeme was the first professor of medicine in University of Jos, as well as the Foundation Dean of Faculty of Medical Sciences, UniJos, and the first Chief Medical Director of the Jos University Teaching Hospital. In Jos, Rinret Silvanus Lott, NTA News.
That's our contribution from this end. Is back to Ruth in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Bikusu. Coalition of Stakeholders for Good Governance in Imo State has commended INEC for conducting a transparent governorship election in Imo State, despite pre-election security concerns. The coalition gave the commendation during a solidarity march to the INEC headquarters in Abuja. Indobisi Ugochukwu, who led the solidarity march, appealed for more citizen support to INEC for the nation's democracy to grow.
There was this campaign of calumny and overhyping of the security situation in Imo State to scare INEC away. But INEC summoned courage and they did the right thing. And INEC never takes sides, and that is why we are all full of appreciation. Concerned Imolais, well-meaning Imolais are full of appreciation for INEC, and we're encouraging them to keep it up, this good work.
You know that all Nigerians, by the Constitution, have the right to express their opinions, their views, but they must do so within the ambits of the law of the land. And you do understand that without peace, none of us can carry out our businesses. It doesn't matter what it is that we do, but we must all maintain law and order.
The coalition called on election observer groups to be non-partisan in their reports, as such action is capable of causing post-election violence. Minister of Labour and Employment Simon Bako Lalong has welcomed with delight the judgment of the Court of Appeal declaring APC candidate Dr. Nentawe Goshwe as the duly elected governor of Plateau State. Lalong, who was in a joyful mood after appellate court's verdict, said the declaration is an affirmation of the mandate unanimously given to Nentawe and his running mate Pam Botmang by the people of the state. He said the development is a good omen to Plateau State, as the new government will now have the opportunity to implement the generation's next agenda to take Plateau State to the next level. The Court of Appeal, Abuja Division, has dismissed the appeal of the governorship candidate of the People's Democratic Party, Titus Uba, challenging the election of Hyacinth Alia of the APC as governor of Benue State. The three-man panel of justices in a unanimous verdict resolved all the three issues formulated in the appeal for determination of the appellant. Justice Onyekachi Aja Otisi, who delivered the lead judgment, dismissed the allegations of non-qualifications made by the appellants against the Deputy Governor Samuel Ode. The court held that the appellants failed to establish forgery of INEC Form EC9 by Ode beyond reasonable doubt as required by law. Justice Otisi held that the appeal of Uba grant against the judgment of Benue State Governorship Election Petition Tribunal delivered on September 23 lacked merit and was dismissed. The appellate court subsequently upheld the judgment of the tribunal, which upheld the election of Hyacinth Alia as a duly elected governor of Benue State. The closure of 3 borders in Kebbi State since the Niger coup is taking its toll on socio-economic activities of the area. Usman Abdullahi Shehu visited one of the borders in Kebbi State, tells us more. Okay, we'll bring you that in subsequent bulletin. In the course of the bulletin, rather, because we have to join Usman Abdullahi for more update live. So when that is ready, we'll bring that to you. About 2,000 applicants who applied for 2023-2024 Commonwealth Scholarship to Federal Scholarship of Federal Ministry of Education are to face a panel of professors for interview. It is a process for the most qualified Nigerian to compete globally with candidates from other Commonwealth countries for the Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship Plan Awards. 2,000 were the lucky ones that emerged from an exams through the electronic application system. Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Andrew Adejo, informed the applicants that the scholarship award is highly prestigious as it covers their awardees and their spouses, which is highly competitive. Hence, they should be disciplined and focused during the exercise. The Permanent Secretary drew the attention of the panelists to continue to adhere to the set criteria of the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, with a view to presenting the usual high-quality candidates for the minister's endorsement. By the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission, London remains one of the most prestigious scholarship schemes for international studies. Since inception in 1959, more than 30,000 individuals have benefited from the awards. Majority of the awardees are from Nigeria, who have returned to make significant contributions to the development of the nation, particularly in the tertiary institutions. All right, let's take a break. We're back. Please don't go anywhere. Welcome back. Federal government has approved the inclusion of Almajiri children in the school feeding program as part of reforms to expand its coverage. Senior Special Assistant to the President on School Feeding Program said this when she visited Governor Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa State. Aliyu Tijani reports.
Visit of the Senior Special Assistant to the President on School Feeding Program to Governor Abdullahi Sule is to deepen collaboration in the implementation of the program, which has now been expanded to capture Almajiri children as beneficiaries. In the first instance, 5,000 children will be captured, with subsequent enrollment to be increased to 50,000 and 100,000 beneficiaries respectively.
Local government under Nasarawa State was given a round of applause at the School Meals Coalition in Paris for being the first and only local government to embrace the school feeding program.
Federal government commends Nasarawa State government for successes recorded in the school feeding program under the immediate past administration and seeks for sustained partnership to achieve successes with the new reforms in the program.
So you have really touched an area of great interest to me. So if you can pick it, you just tell me this is the role we want you to play, this is what we want you to do, and you will find me doing my best in that area, including even my own personal, support, to see how it works.
Governor Sule says the inclusion of Almajiri children in school feeding program is apt and will go a long way in improving their lives. Aliu Tijani, NTA News.
The Minister of Women Affairs, Uju Kennedy Ohane, is exploring different empowerment avenues to change the poverty narrative of Nigerian women. This time, the ministry is partnering a Chinese organization on ways to involve women in cattle rearing through the use of locally sourced materials other than vegetation. Ngozi Technical reports.
By the popular notion that poverty has the face of a woman, the Women Affairs Minister is not relenting in her efforts to change the narrative for women in Nigeria. The latest is the collaboration with a Chinese firm that will share ideas on the latest technology in cattle rearing. It is the combination of grains that can fasten the development of cattle and increase milk production, among other yields.
They will give us all the modernized, mechanized farming tools to get it easier for Nigerians to do this work, get more proceeds without over-suffering themselves.
The growing period is about at least 1.5 years. But if just feeding them with the feed produced by our machines, the growing period can be shortened within 8 months.
The minister also gave updates on the 8-year child molested in Enugu, which the ministry has been following up.
We are suing the man himself for defiling this girl and transmitting some venereal diseases onto this girl. We sued the mother for negligence under section 46 subsection 1 and section 34 subsection 1, which gives me the right and local standing to try to take this matter to court in my person as the Minister of Women Affairs.
The minister vowed not to rest on her oars until the culprits are brought to book. In Abuja, Ngozi Technical, NTA News.
Well, let's join Salamatu in Kaduna for just some few reports.
Ruth and a warm welcome. The Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji, has reviewed its curriculum to enhance the capacity and knowledge of course participants. This came to fore during the Naval Headquarters Staff Branches Seminar for Senior Course 46, held at the Department of Maritime Warfare, Jaji. Muhammad Umar Ajingi reports.
Seminars are part of training activities for course participants at the Armed Forces Command and Staff College, Jaji. Naval Headquarters Staff Branches Seminar is tailored to instruct Senior Course 46 on the reforms and the organization in the Nigerian Navy. Resource persons from various branches of the Nigerian Navy, which include communication and information technology, logistics, administration, Navy Secretary, engineering, and others, presented papers on various topics to the participants.
This kind of seminar, ideas will come on what do we do further to improve the organization, the rules, and in fact what we do as a Navy. So we expect the young officers to bring up ideas for the future, because these are the future of the Nigerian Navy.
Director, Department of Maritime Warfare, Armed Forces Commander and Staff College Jaji Commodore Abdurrahman Muhammad enjoined the participants to utilize the opportunity provided to improve their knowledge on the recent reorganization and expansion taking place in the Nigerian Navy.
Just recently, a new branch, the Communication and Information Technology branch, was created at Naval Headquarters. These new initiatives have in no small measure enhanced the Nigerian Navy's capacity towards the protection of Nigeria's maritime domain, as well as in the defense of the country's territorial integrity.
Senior Course 46 of the Armed Forces Command and Staff College Jaji has participants from the 3 services, including international students from various African countries. In Kaduna, I am Muhammad Umar Jingi, NTA News.
And on education, Jigawa State Government partners Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office in Nigeria to address teachers' shortage and improve their efficiency in teaching services. This was at the Government House in Dutse when the team intimated the governor on areas of collaboration for better service delivery in the teaching profession in Jigawa State. Mohammed Askira has the details.
FCDO team led by Lian Outfit commended the Jigawa State government over the recent massive recruitment of teachers for primary and secondary schools in the state under the J-Teach program. Lian described the recruitment as a step in the right direction, especially as the state government re-strategizes to close the widening teacher-to-student ratio in the state, as well as providing an enabling environment for better teaching and learning. He noted that the newly recruited teachers should undergo induction to be properly equipped for the daunting task of teaching ahead of them.
If you really want to change education, then recruiting more young women to become female teachers right across all of our communities, both urban and rural, is absolutely one of the best things that you can do. To train them, to keep them in post, and to pass on those long-term benefits to all of the boys and girls of Jigawa State.
Governor Umar Namadi stated that supply of teachers to schools will continue until ratio is reduced to the minimum.
Our Sangaya programs, which is a new program we have designed, is specifically meant to drastically reduce the number of out-of-school children. And we hope FDO, as a reliable partner, will join hand with us in that very important task.
The Jigawa and FCDO partnership will continue in many fronts, including education, health, social protection, among many others. From Dutse, Muhammad Musa Askira, NTA News.
Those are the stories from here. Over to Ruth in Abuja. Good evening.
Thank you very much, Salamatu. And from Kaduna, let's go to Benin to join Udwak. She has another set of reports for us.
About 100 women in Ondo Southern Senatorial District of Ondo State are now out of unemployment and are self-reliant through the state Skills Acquisition Empowerment Program, an initiative of the wife of the Ondo State Governor, Mrs. Betty Akerodolu. Ifeoluwa Moshile reports that the need for women empowerment towards a stable society was the crux of the program.
To the challenging circumstances faced by women who make up more than 60% of Nigeria's population, the Ondo State Skill Acquisition and Empowerment Program, OSAEP, in conjunction with the Foundation for Wives of Ondo State Officials, FOWOSO, successfully trained women of all ages in various skills. The initiative aims to empower women by providing them with training in fields such as ICT, solar technology, event planning, makeup artistry, wig making, bag making and confectionaries, among others.
With the equipment they gave us, I will be able to stand. These things that they have given to me personally, I will make use of it. I will be a good wife out of it. I did this by myself.
It is noteworthy that OSAEP has made it a priority to promote inclusivity by ensuring the participation of persons with disabilities in the empowerment scheme. The convener of the initiative, Mrs. Betty Akerodolu, strongly believes that women need to be economically empowered in order to evolve and thrive.
Women's economic security is inevitable, and it is the key to achieving stronger, happier, healthier, and prouder womanhood.
To ensure equal representation, participants were drawn from the 6 local government areas within the Southern Senatorial District of the state as certificates were presented to them. In Akure, Ifeoluwa Moshule, NTA News.
As the festive season approaches and the roads are already getting busy, the need for transporters, motorists and individuals to abide by road safety rules and regulations is of utmost importance to curb the spike in traffic accidents and pedestrian deaths during the period. Elizabeth Tomoko tells us more.
No doubt, an increased human and vehicular movement usually characterizes the festive period between mid-December and mid-January, with evidence of traffic gridlock on highways among other activities. It is also a period when many are struggling to meet up with end-of-year demands. This scenario plays out among some drivers who will throw caution to the wind and place priority on profits and subsequently lose their lives and that of passengers in accidents caused mostly by fatigue and carelessness.
So we work from morning till after 2 to 3. They will not give motor to handover. That one we don't even get to know whether there is any faultly. Provided they will rush to mention to go like 8 trip.
Some of our drivers are so careless. When you drive, you don't supposed to receive call or make call. Overspeed is still included.
For road safety managers, it is imperative for every Nigerian, especially motorists, to exhibit high level of professional conduct by adhering to road safety rules and regulations.
If you are driving in the night, you have been paid your safety. Speed trees, but it kills. When you drink, it affects your mental state. It affects your physical body. So don't drink and drive.
Many lives have been lost to road accidents. If we must drive to see another day, there is a general consensus that motorists must adhere to the driving rules on a daily basis. In Benin, Elizabeth Omako, NTA News.
And that's it from Benin. Is back to Ruth in Abuja for continuation of Nationwide.
Thank you very much, Woodwork. Unity among African churches is the focus as Christians converged on Abuja to mark the 60th anniversary and 12th General Assembly of All African Conference of Churches. Omenka Amarachuku reports.
Converged here are Christians within the African faith to pray and deliberate on issues bordering African churches, as well as create a better and more equitable future for all African countries, irrespective of backgrounds. They are here to provide a platform for a renewed commitment to the notable cause of the African Conference of Churches.
That event, and it just shows that no matter what is happening in the country, God is still with us, and we should take courage knowing that God is with our nation.
So apart from preaching powerfully about the love of Christ in the minds of the people, in the hearts of the people, the church should also show that love as a way of convincing the nation that the love of Christ is real.
I asked all the people that are gathered here today to pray for those in authority, so that God will empower them and grant them all the abilities.
That AACC has completed 60 years and it's vibrant, it's growing, it's good, it has the support of the members, it has support of partners, and we have a good vision for the continent.
All African Conference of Churches was formed in 1963 to promote peace within the African continent for spiritual upliftment and sustainable development. In Abuja, Omenka Marchuku, NTA News.
All right, let's bring you a sports update.
We begin with the Super Eagles.
Following the Super Eagles 1-0 draw against Zimbabwe in their second match of the 2026 World Cup qualifiers, the three-time African champions returning to winning ways was halted on Sunday despite dominating the game. Nigeria now has 2 points from 2 matches and will hope to change the story when they face South Africa in the match day 3 and 4.
Right now the Super Eagles technically are very, very poor, and I'll put the blame solely on the feet of the technical crew, the coach and his assistants. He seems not to know how to play, how to get the best out of these players.
And to MPFL match day 9 results, Duma United beat Plateau United 1-0 in one of the Nigerian Premier Football League match day 9 matches to rise to the zenith of the table. Duma United have garnered same 17 points with Lobby Stars and Shooting Stars of Ibadan in 9 matches but topped the table on superior goal difference. Meanwhile, 9-time MPFL champions Eyimba FC returned to winning ways on Sunday following their slim 1-0 victory over league contenders Lobby Stars at the Eyimba International Stadium. In Uyo, Aqua United defeated high-flying Remo Stars 3-2 as both sides fought till the end for the maximum points in a thrilling encounter. At the Adoki Amisimaka Stadium in Port Harcourt, Rivers United defeated neighbours Abia Warriors 2-1 to revive their sluggish campaign so far. Shooting Stars beat Kano Pillars 1-0. Bendel Insurance played 2-2 draw against Kwara United, while Enugu Rangers and Kwara United also play 0-0 draw. And finally, to tennis, Novak Djokovic won a record 7th ATP Finals title with a dominant victory over Jannik Sinner that marked another milestone in his memorable season. The 36-year-old Serb, who lost to the Italian in the group stage, avenged with a 6-3, 6-3 win in Turin, Italy. He has set records in rankings and titles this year and played some of his best tennis against young stars. World number 1 Novak Djokovic had been tied with Roger Federer on 6 ATP Finals title wins, but it was clear from the outset in Sunday's final that he was hungry to take the outright record. With Sport Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA News.
And that's Nationwide. Thank you very much for your time. Do have a beautiful evening. I'm Ruth Aguela. Bye.